Women come up and talk about how successful they are and how intimidated men are, and they never say a word about their character. And I just can't help but think about how turned off women get when men lead with money and lead with accomplishment and end up having nothing but unavailability and coldness and lack of emotional development, because that unfortunately is what it takes to succeed in certain career fields. You can look it up. And for some reason, women think that the success that they've amassed has somehow happened without them becoming devoid of a lot of the personality and relationships that men are devoid of. And they flex their accomplishments and money the same way men do. And somehow we make it different every time. Every time. No disrespect to you, but you didn't say about being a good woman. Nothing.
Why
you didn't say no.
I'm just
fuck all that, bro. Didn't say nothing about.
I can tell you
why would she say?
This is about a larger point. This is not about her as an individual. We don't hear I'm successful, I got my degree, and I've been in therapy the last 3 years working out my issues. I just bought a house, and I also identified my childhood trauma and it took inventory over my baggage, and I got it out the way. Oh, also I'm loyal. My time management is on point. I do what I say I'm going to do. I'm considerate. We never hear any of it. What I hear is when say that y'all act like, when men say that y'all have turned into alphas, what we're talking about is the worst parts of manhood. Y'all have taken it on. Now, the problem with men is that we won't admit that those are the worst parts of us too. But shorty, y'all have taken the worst parts of what it means to be successful, and y'all wear that like a badge. Look at what it's done to us. If you need an example of what it looks like to only live in your accomplishments, look at the black men around you. You in a city full of them. Look at how devoid they are. Look at what it took them to get to where they are. Look at how underdeveloped some of them are emotionally. This is what you want? Is this what we're gonna do, to let accomplishments be band-aids for that?
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go Trev, Ali, and Casey.
No, let me just say this. I've been on panels with AP. He's just clowning. That is all love. So don't go in on him. We've been on panels together. Yeah, it's all love.
Okay.
All right. I don't think there's a direct correlation between a woman's or even a man's career and how he's going to behave in a relationship necessarily. I think that some of them are just assholes. I think that there are some women who just don't value men enough. I've been speaking a lot about that lately, and that's what I really think it all boils down to, is that the perceived value of men is low. And that's why many females just don't feel like they need to put in the effort for the man. They get into the careers because they are worried about themselves. And that's fine. But if they value the man, then they be able to do both. I know some extremely successful women who turn that shit off when they get to the crib. They treat their husband like he deserves to be treated. It doesn't have to work like that. You don't have to be part, like what I do as my career, it has nothing to do with how I am as a person when I come home. I don't live that life. I have a job, but that doesn't mean that that's what I am all the time. Like it's just not how it has to be. Sometimes it is, unfortunately, right? But most of us as adults, we should have the ability to be able to compartmentalize our duties. Like, we know what we're supposed to do. And it's just if you care enough. Most of us are too lazy. Most of us don't feel like putting the effort in. And most of us are just self-absorbed, and whether it be narcissistic or just hyper individualist, we don't care about anybody else and what they think. And sometimes we just put too much value in ourselves and not care enough about your family. We don't understand the duty of family. We don't care about the meaning of life. All we care about is what the hell I want to do with my life, and I'm living my life, and YOLO, and F all y'all. Forget everybody else. That's what the problem is.
I was gonna say, Trev, I think he was speaking specifically when he said the worst types of masculinity. I think he was speaking specifically about the type of man that would do what a woman like that would do, which is lead with their money as a badge that mask the other qualities that you should have. I think that's what he was speaking to. So those type of men would have that mentality or that mindset where it's the worst parts of masculinity. Would you agree with that?
I believe that there are some people that behave like that.
Yeah.
But I'm around a lot of individuals, right? Some high functioning males, right? And what I would say about that is, when you're truly high functioning, you make your money, right? You still have good moral character as somebody you could trust, as someone you could take advice from, as someone you would not mind being around, as someone you could trust around your family. Good people are good people. There are some
Right.
people who are just wired well, and there are some people who are just complete degenerates, right? Some people who are lazy and they are untrustworthy and they would be shitty in a relationship and they're self-absorbed and they still think they're the shit even though they're complete trash.
Yeah, I think that's who he was speaking to. Those type of people. Everything you just described, I think that's the type of man, like the type of characteristics we tend to see those women who lead with their money, and that's the characteristic he's speaking to.
Go ahead, Allie.
I think on both ends of the spectrum, men and women, when you lead with money, I feel like quality individuals know that that can be gone tomorrow, right? That literally can be gone tomorrow. I see it all the time. You can have people who are top earners that get fired the very next day. Look what happened in tech a couple years ago. Meta laid off thousands of people. Look what's happening, all that stuff. So I think anybody who leads with money and makes that their personality, their characteristic, just like the girl in the initial video in the first clip we watched, where she's clearly all about money, not wanting to look like someone who works 50-50. When you make something like that, when you make finances your entire personality trait in your career, it's going to rub the other person the wrong way, because you got to be able to operate whether you're both earning $50,000 combined or $200,000 combined. So I do agree with his overall message to the audience when he said, look at all these men in the audience that have put that on the forefront. What did he say? They're devoid. And particularly in my experience, when you see successful Black men, it's harder, right? And I see successful white men struggle too, and it's not pretty, right? So if you lead with money like that, it's never going to come out pretty. So I do agree with the overall message that both parties shouldn't act like that when you're entering a relationship. You should talk about the things that matter, whether you're a kind person, what you prioritize, all of those things. Whether you're equally yoked spiritually, mentally, emotionally, because what is that saying? People who work in hospice say, everyone on their deathbed, no one says that they wish they would have worked more. No one says that they would have put more in hours or chased their career. No one says that. Everyone says that they wish they would have spent more time with their loved ones or treated someone right or this, that. So it's like, I do agree that both sides, it's terrible if that's the way that you're going to lead your life, because shit happens in this life and you cannot lean into money in that way. It is part of the discussion, absolutely, but it shouldn't be the way that people are approaching it with this 50-50 with, I'm a successful lady, I'm a successful man, because it could all go away tomorrow. Look at all the people in California that lost their homes, right? Now they got to start over. So to me, it's like ludicrous. Like it was interesting in that very first clip, who said that? I don't remember who said it, but it's a very American thing. I see it that way. It's a very American thing for us to be talking about money like this, because that's why I said I couldn't relate to it, because I was raised in an environment just like I described. Whether you're making 20,000 combined for whatever reason to 70,000, you are with your partner to figure it out. And regardless. So that's why I said I felt so disconnected, because this is such an American conversation. So I'll end with that.